Goddamn devs, fucking people can fly, always fucking the community over. Hey yo, what is fucking good? It is your boy, Godified, and yo, we are back with some fucking Outriders content, my dudes. Yo, let's be real here for a second, right? So, People Can Fly went and they dropped a bomb, right? Now, my last video, I went over the details, and I wasn't impressed, right? I've seen a lot of things written in this update, and the way I go about things is I don't expect anything. I go in, I don't expect anything. That way, when I play it, I can give it a fresh point of view. If I give it expectations and it sucks, then, I'm going to come into it, I'm going to be pissed, or I'm going to be disappointed. If I go into it disappointed and it turns out to be phenomenal, then I'm just going to be like, wow, and I'm just going to, I'll be like every other fanboy and I'm going to sweat it, you know. But I went in here, I had no expectations. I was streaming, I was chilling, and the update dropped. And we're going to go in here, we're going to cover it. And in the background is gameplay from all 4 of the new expeditions. All 4, okay? It's going to be a little bit of a lengthy video because not only am I giving you guys all 4 fucking gameplays, but I'm also showing you where each and every single hidden room is on each map and how to get to it and how to unlock it. So, not only do we have that, I'm going to cover the entire fucking DLC. Well, not even a DLC, it's literally just a small expansion. But we're going to talk about a few things. And while I'm doing that, you're also going to have this gameplay in the background. This is my Technomancer. I've made several builds on this character. You guys would absolutely love it. You're going to see how dumb and stupid it is with damage and how good it survives. All the gameplay in the background is on CT15. It's with a buddy of mine. I'm sorry it took a little bit longer to get this content out so I can make this video. Honestly, I've been streaming for the last couple days. I've saved a bunch of runs, a bunch of content. For some reason, they all didn't save on my PS4, so I had to go through today and completely redo them, every single one of them. So that's why I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and give you the whole package. So let's dive in to what I think of the content. New Horizons. So, man, it's kind of hard to figure, like, where do you start, right? To be fair, I went on Reddit and I kind of broke down how I felt about this already also, which kind of gives me a little bit more of a script on this video than anything. I mean, I'm impressed. To be 100% honest, I am very impressed. I think the devs did a great job, but I'm going to do things from 2 different perspectives here, right? We're going to break things down from 2 different gamer perspectives. We're going to break it down from the perspective of an end game player, someone who's stuck with the game all the way through, got everything out of the game, and then we're going to play it more on the perspective and point of view of a more casual player, someone who doesn't play the game every day, gets on, plays it, occasionally, maybe somebody who left during, all the downtime with all the bugs and everything. And I'm going to score each point of view individual, okay? So let's go ahead and break it down. We're going to start from the more casual point of view first, right? So if you are new or a returning player who is casual or a slow grinder who did not have all the legendary items, still had accolades to achieve, and basically you still had things to do, it's phenomenal. It's great content. This update basically puts Outriders exactly how the game should have been on launch. The fluidity, the flow of battle, the rewards, no timers, removes stress from players, and basically gives everybody a reason to more or less explore the maps and actually see the visuals of what makes the game so beautiful. You gotta think, devs put time into creating these masterpiece worlds. And when you have a timer on, you're just kind of pushing through. You're only seeing the linear perspective, and everything else is just a blur in the background, technically. So, all this timer removal allows players to immerse themselves and see what's going on in the game, actually see the world and kind of immerse themselves. So that's always a huge plus. They removed the timers. They made them optional now. To me, this is great. Timers, in my opinion, are artificial difficulty. Some people like them. I, for one, do not. I think they're stupid and fucking ignorant. When you add a timer, it's basically like saying, I don't have the time to make a game where there involves mechanics and stuff like that. We're just going to make you fight against the time for a reward. And that's cheap. It's artificial. It never should have been in the game to begin with. It always should have been an optional thing. I do think if people want to chase for it, then the rewards itself right now are fine. I've seen people complaining, saying that they think if you're going to chase for times, there should be rewards for you beating certain times. No. The thing here with the timers are, if you're going to chase times, your reward always has been and always will be bragging rights. That's it. Bragging rights. That's literally the purpose for you doing so. That's why people speedrun, for bragging rights, for world record, times and so forth. It's all about bragging rights. You shouldn't get extra stuff too just because you beat a time. You gotta think, the meta, anybody can do the meta. Anybody. All you have to do is go on YouTube and just literally copy and paste a build. So, why should you get something special for literally doing no build at all? You didn't build the character yourself. You literally went on and did some YouTube search and then, went and did some, literally went and tried to push the timers as much as you could. And even if that literally puts console players at a disadvantage too, because PC players can literally just click on headshots for the majority. You have more precision, and if you have a burst weapon and you have more precision, you're going to land more crits. Meaning you are going to have the ability to push timers faster. So that literally puts console players at a disadvantage. And then, if you mention that kind of thing, PC players are like, oh, well, you can easily, hook up a mouse and keyboard too. No, it's not the point. The point is, what the game has is, if you want to go and you want to race your timer, guess what? Now you have that as a bragging right, just like you did before. And other players can now literally enjoy the maps without the timers and without the stress of having to go and fucking build some bootlegged ass meta that they found on YouTube. Now they can literally sit there and build whatever they want, however they want, and play the game how they want and enjoy it. This is a huge plus. Huge plus. And it should have been this way in the beginning. Not to mention, you have all these new hidden Easter eggs, like the one in the background right now. This one was on... Oh, fuck, I forget what map this was on. It was on some, like... I forget. Anyway, I love these. The Easter eggs are great. The one in the background that we just saw was literally a bunker inside the facility. And the dudes were getting mad at network and game errors. Literally a slap in the face towards all the complaining players all throughout the community. I thought that was hilarious. I think we need more of that. It shows that fucking people can fly are listening and they're openly willing to troll back with the community. And I love that. I love the fucking sense of humor on them. I always have, even since, what was it, Bulletstorm? I loved their sense of humor on Bulletstorm, too. So, anyway, that, like I said, that breaks down really, the casual player, right? Like, the casual player gets on, they now have stuff. You have Tiago also, whose inventory now has a reroll option. So as long as you have the currency, which is the drop pod resources, for I think it's like 96k, you can literally re-roll his entire inventory until you find what you're looking for, which is great. And you could also, if you want to, buy a random legendary box, which will give you one random legendary. And it is exactly as it says, one random legendary. It could be anything. So you have that to kind of play with your currency. So now running expeditions and getting that currency has a reason to be used for most players. Now you have a reason to use it. Also, this skull in the background is on the other wall behind me. I literally went in, looked at the wrong wall. My buddy got it, so for those of you who are wondering why I was looking at there, I'm an idiot. It's on the wall behind me. It's up on the wall. But anyway, so when it comes down to like being a new player, you're playing the game literally how it should have been at this point when the game first came out for everybody. And with this being said, 9 out of 10. I have to give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is because I do inside wish that there was a little bit more for players of my caliber, who I'm about to go into now in the next bit. Because I feel like there's still certain things that they could have done for the more casual player too. Like, there's still a couple things that I think they could have done a little bit better. But overall, it's a 9 out of 10. You know, you can't really give it a 10 out of 10 because it's not flawless. There's still some little bits and tidbits of lag here and there. So, it's not like everything is 100%. The Transmog System itself, I've collected everything in the game, and that includes all the blues, commons, etc. Like, I've literally collected everything in the game. I even have the, the accolade for collecting everything, but when I go into the Transmog System, I have so much shit missing, it's like it didn't register any of the stuff that I've already found except for legendaries. So, I'm going to assume that you have to literally collect everything all over again if you want the transmogs for it, or if you had it already saved in your, in your stash. So, that's a thing. That's another reason I dropped it down from a 10 of 10 down to a 9 of 10. But let's move on. If you're a player like myself who's literally done everything, You've collected every legendary in the game. You've done every accolade. You've basically fucking like smashed the game out. You've done everything. The update from that point is I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. And I've had a lot of people say, "Wow, that's kind of harsh," on my Reddit post when I said that I gave it a 2 out of 10. And let me elaborate. Right. So when you're playing these new expeditions, okay, and you've had everything in the game, so you've collected every legendary, you've done everything, and now because these new expeditions have things towards the end, where now you can go to these secret rooms and find these new like transmog weapons, essentially, like they're brand new weapons, but if you want, you could literally just use them as transmogs. Um, Once you collect all those, you basically have nothing. Like, you don't have anything. You have no incentive really to play. Right? There's no new enemy types. They didn't add any new gear into the game. Like, there's no new legendary sets. There's no new anything. Like I said, it's just basically some good content to show the players that, like, they're listening. They wanted to give something to us. That way we have some extra stuff to play. Show that they are working on the game. And that's appreciated. One dude mentioned, like, the incentive that he has now as an in-game player is to essentially work on builds now. You know, without there being timers, now he can go in, he can play with friends and work on different kinds of builds. So it gives them that, which is good incentive. You know, that is a very good incentive to continue. For players like me, I really can't do the whole build thing yet because we don't have loadouts. We can't save certain bits of gear. So that way, when if we try to do a build test, guess what's going to happen? There's a possibility that we can literally wipe perfectly good gear that we have for our end game builds that we farmed for. We can end up accidentally wiping it out without being able to save it, or without being able to be like, okay, let me save my loadout and let me go ahead and make a brand new loadout. So that kind of sucks. That's another reason why I'm not really big right now on the build diversity in the game. It still doesn't really give you an incentive to make builds yet. I mean, they're slowly adding it, and they're slowly getting it. They just kind of need to add tiny little features in here to, really kind of nail the coffin shut. But overall, like, I think they did a great job. For the players like myself, we don't have any incentive really to come back. Game's in one of those states where it's, catering very much so to new players. And I can kind of understand where it's coming from, because you have new players coming in, you have a lot of older players coming in. They're talking about DLC dropping for their first one in 2022. And I'm gonna just assume they want the player base caught up to where, we're playing on somewhat of an even ground together. I'm gonna assume that. Plus, they even said it in the beginning. They didn't want us to be grinding as much as we were. So now, making things as, like, easy as it is to farm, I mean, they're giving us, basically, like I said, they're giving us the game the way that it should have been dropped. There's only the problem with, like, players like myself who already did it all. We don't get to really enjoy it, We'll go in like I have. I'm playing with friends, helping friends out now. Gives me a reason to get on. My community that I built on Outriders over on Twitch has been coming back around because, they've been wanting me to get back on the game. I just haven't found a place on my heart to play it because there hasn't been anything for me to do. I just haven't enjoyed the game. And this DLC brought me back. Um, this DLC brought me back to the game. I really, really enjoy it. And when I told my community that I'm thinking about going back and doing daily Outrider streams again to help the community, they were ecstatic. So I think we're going to be bringing that back. And again, like I said, I'm going to give the content for players like myself who have had everything already. It's a 2. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. If you are enjoying the whole like build factor now where you can test builds, I'll give it like a 3 or 4 out of 10 just for that. But like overall, it's a 2 out of 10 for late game players. But that's fine. We have other stuff to play. We can easily just wait until DLC comes. And just because I give it a 2 out of 10 doesn't mean that it's trash, because it's not. It just means they didn't cater to us this run around, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Newer players and players who don't have everything in the game, those who quit because they couldn't obtain certain things after hundreds and thousands of runs. I mean, I think it's about time. Excuse me. That they were, given the opportunity to kind of play and enjoy the game how majority of us were that literally farmed everything out. So to me, I think this was a really great overall update, and given from both perspectives combined, I want to give it overall a 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, like just overall from all player expectations, points of view, everything overall from playtime of probably around 48 hours or more, roughly. I think in total between the 2 days I've played this game, or 3 days I've played this game so far, I think I've put in probably close to 30 or 40 hours streamed. And today, as you guys can see, about 40 minutes today, roughly, just kind of breaking down this new content so you guys can see the new maps and gameplay in the background. So about another 40 minutes there. So yeah, roughly around 30, 40 hours, something like that. And I have to give it an 8 out of 10. That's great. It's wonderful content. Even on Reddit, like normally I expect to have so much negativity. And the Reddit community is eating it up. They're loving it, as they should. Everything I've mentioned, a lot of people are like agreeing with. A lot of people think that, I'm seeing this game as a GAAS, and I'm not. I do have certain things I wish they would add, for us. Something for longevity, like a horde mode of sorts, or some kind of mode that makes players have to, build a certain way. Like, you have your DPS variation, you have your players who build more tanky. Something to kind of put the players into strategic situations to where they have to play as their role should be. And that's really about it. I wish they would do something like that, so that way late game players have a reason to kind of come back and dick around. Even if it's not, if you give us a horde mode, then we can kind of sit back and be like, alright, this is dope. That's longevity. Players are going to play that over and over and over again, as long as it's it has some kind of difficulty meter that scales. You give us something like that, that's longevity. It's not expected, it's not being asked for. It's before the game came out, PCF said that they have code already embedded into the game itself, and they're just waiting for the game to come out, and they want to see the community's reaction to the game. And if we want content, they will give us content because they've already started working on it, right? And with that being said, I'm going to voice my opinion on things that we want for future content. That's not making the game a GAAS. It's voicing what they wanted us to, using the voice that they wanted us to use to tell them where we want the game. Well, if we want new content, they want us to tell them that we want new content. You know what I'm trying to say? So, but anyway, boys, girls, whoever's watching, whatever you are, classify as a fucking toaster if you want. I am gonna call it here. The only thing I really want to say before I call it is let's be real for a minute, right? Like, I want to take a second here, and I want to have, like, actual real talk, alright? So, we, for the longest time, we sat back, and we had, all these content creators, right? They were pushing out all this narrative of, oh, the community's fucking us, or the devs are fucking us again. Look at this bullshit update, blah, 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 blah. And I said it in my last video, I'll say it again, right? When you're a developer and you're making a game and you're getting ready to push out some new content, sometimes you have to make changes for balancing reasons. And if the community doesn't know what you're trying to put out, and if you're trying to keep it on a surprise, any kind of balance that you try to make, they're not going to understand it, right? You're not, like, as players, we're not going to understand where they're coming from, because there's no reason. There's no reason. They're not telling us that they're coming out with new content tomorrow, and that's why today they're putting out a fucking, a like 10% decrease in one of our skills. We don't know that. So instantly people hop on that bandwagon and say, oh, they're nerfing us. How could they? They're fucking the community over again. Blah, 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 blah. And they're so fast to, like, get negative and hate the fucking game and to shit talk what the developers are doing. And to certain degrees, I can understand. I think that developers nowadays, especially now that there are public forums like Reddit and such, and Discord and a lot, I think they should be a little bit more transparent now if they're going to do stuff like that. If you're getting negative feedback from, the player base and they're telling you, hey, why are you nerfing things? It'd be great if you could be like, look, we have something planned to come out and we have to do balancing issues. It's very simple. Your community manager, I'm sorry, Archon, I don't fucking know you. You've never come to my stream and talked to me, so apparently I must not be anybody to this community. But as a community manager, you should literally be like, look, we have plans for something coming out, and there's a reason why we did these balancing issues, or these balances. They are to help better balance the content we have coming here in the future, and we will tell you more about it once we get closer to production release. That's all you have to do. As a community manager, you should be doing exactly that. Talking to the community. De-escalating the community. But also, as a community, we should also be a little less fucking on edge and literally be more understanding. Yeah, we pay money for these games, I agree. But bitching automatically is so fast on a game is stupid. And I take a little bit of blame. I did it too, therefore, in the beginning. And I'm sorry. I did. I changed up a lot during my time covering Outriders as a content creator. And just, you have to be open-minded, man. You have to be open-minded. You have to be able to see things from multiple perspectives, because in the end of things, there's always multiple perspectives other than your own. You might see something one way when 5 other people around you in different areas will see things from a completely different perspective. So when you're just sitting there and you see something and just fly off the handle without knowing why you're flying off the handle, just because you see something a certain way, doesn't mean that the way you see it is guaranteed. And a lot of us need to realize that in this community, right? The game dropped a beautiful update. We're playing a very beautiful update. And yes, there are still some people having issues based on, like, play and everything like that. But still, in the end of things, the update was beautiful. It put the game in a state that we definitely needed it to be in. That should have been this way from the beginning. And I think from this point on, the community should stop being negative. Stop listening to these fucking YouTubers who make negative bullshit videos where all they do is rant and talk shit about the game and basically make the game seem to be in a negative fucking state, and make blah, can't even talk. Make the developers look like they are incompetent. And I think we need to start focusing on the people who are actually wanting to see this game strive. Because, end of the day, the negativity is just, it's too much. It's way too fucking much. The negativity for this game, literally, it made the game not fun. And that was a lot of the reason why I left the game to begin with, too. Because the negativity on the game was just too much. Listening to people bitch all day fucking long was too much. And to end this off, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. When this update launched, I was 5 minutes in. And a very good buddy of mine came into my stream, and the first thing he said was, "This update's ass, the game is still trash. Enough said." Or something along the lines of that. And I told him, "Wow, you're fucking negative, bro. Like, you haven't even played it yet. Like, go play it and give it a chance." And not even a couple hours later, he was in my chat again. He's like, "Yo, I played it. Did you know you could do this? Yo, there's all this new hidden stuff." He's like, "You know what? I have to say it. The update's awesome. The game isn't trash." He's like, "I take back everything I said before when I joined your chat before. And I think this is great. I can't wait to see what they have in the future." That right there says that anybody who has anything negative to say is just jumping the gun without actually trying to do anything. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The game is there. If you've already purchased it, re-download it. Try it for yourself. I swear, you guys will love the little bit that's there. The game feels great. If you haven't bought the game yet, fucking rent it, man. You can still rent shit. Go to fucking, like, Redbox or some shit. You know? Or, you know, something of the sort. You can easily just check the demo out, for fuck's sake. Or if you got a buddy who has it, fucking go to your buddy's house. Hell, Game Pass has it for free. But anyway, it's your boy. I love you guys. I'm definitely coming back with some Outriders love. Honestly, I missed you all. It's great to be able to start making some content for you guys again. I hope the videos in the background helped you find out where everything is as far as all the new hidden shit and the new 4 maps. The skulls one might be a little off just because my boy shot the skulls before I could, but I still aimed at most of them and shot where they were. So even if they were already shot, I let you guys know where they are, so that way, you know, you kind of have an understanding of where they're all at. But also on that one map where you go into the bunker or whatever, I forget the name of it off top of my head. It's that bunker mission. Before you get into like the very last area, do not open the door automatically. If you look to your right, there is an alpha porphyro inside of a cage, and there's like this weird sandbag looking fucking like thing there. Next to you is going to be a computer. Hold square on the computer, it'll turn the gun on and shoot the alpha porphyro, and you will get a trophy for it. Or an achievement, whichever you are on whatever console. But I wanted to get that out the way also because we didn't know what the fuck that was. Anyway, love you guys. It's your boy. I'm back.
Priorities, please. You're looking for artifacts of unrivaled historical merit.
Wonder what the vintage is on these.
If the packs were last saving alcohol when that bastard Monroy showed up, it's at least 30.
Guys, I take it back. This is the treasure.
I'd like to see it once the storm clears.
A sight like this almost makes you forget how fucking How long till that storm clears?
Looks like this one could linger over us for a while.
Well, at least I have a nice view and something to drink.
Hey, say some for the rest of us.
No promise.
Outrider detected. Access granted.